Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, coming at you with round 1 of season 17 for Grand Arena. This is 5v5 with ships. This is the exact same kind of map we had last go around, and I'm really excited about this round. I was able to manipulate the galactic power with one of my guildmates, and we lined up at the same galactic power, so we were able to match up again. This is the same guildmate that I faced last Grand Arena, also in round 1, and I did a bunch of testing because he was too busy to play. But since we were able to match up this time, we decided that we're going to play for blood. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to show you guys how round 1 went. I think it was pretty fun. So I will also get into my defenses toward the end and show you what kind of presents I left for him. All right, let's go check out his defenses and see what we got to work through today. So here's what he's got for his ground squads. He set a Bosk lead bounty hunter team, his Darth Revan squad with Malik. He's got Dooku lead on some Night Sisters. And then he's got a Padme lead Galactic Republic team. And then down here at the bottom, he's just got a regular crew First Order team. So let's jump into the battles, and I'll kind of explain my thought processes and how I wanted to handle everything. And then I'll show you, like I said, I'll show you my defense of what he had to go up against. So we're going to start off with his Bosk Bounty Hunter team. Since he's got IG-88 in there, and the fact that my Stark is faster than anyone on his Bounty Hunter team, we'll go ahead and use Imperial Troopers. If you do have a fast Stark and you can outspeed somebody on the team and they have at least one weak character, it's a great team to use to be able to get max banners and just tear through the enemy team without having to burn something like Treya or your JTR that you can save for a tougher team. So you can see the Imps made short work of those bounty hunters, got 60 banners, and that's that. So we'll move on to the next one. I wanted to try my hand at the Revan counter, and I've actually used this before. Again, last go round when I faced him, he had his Darth Revan on defense. So I tried this exact same Jedi Knight Revan with Thrawn counter against him and was pretty successful. So not only have I practiced this counter, I've practiced it against his exact team, which is, you know, pretty good. The more practice you can get on something, the better you're going to do. Unfortunately, after these first couple moves, the run doesn't go quite as planned here. Right now, everything's still trucking along, doing what I'm supposed to do, using the basics to get Darth Revan's health down. Right now, everything's, you know, textbook. I want to swap turn meter with Bastilla. That way she can send her buffs over to Grandmaster Yoda. You just take your time, because as a counter, you can't afford to make one wrong move, because then the whole run will go to hell. But so far, everything goes good. Use Yoda's special, take out Darth Revan. Now it should be, you know, much easier. But maybe I made a mistake, or, you know, I'm not exactly sure what happened. But I lost Thrawn, unluckily, right there. And so that can really hurt when you don't have him to swap turn meter and throw up an extra fracture. So working on getting Sith Trooper out of there, but I went ahead and marked Darkside Bastilla, trying to get her out of there because, you know, she can be a big, huge pain. Was able to get rid of Sith Trooper. Now it's just Darkside Bastilla, HK, and Malik. Tried to throw a stun on Malik so he wouldn't be able to interfere, but he resisted, so that was no good. And then he's going after my Grandmaster Yoda, which that's a big no-no because he's the primary damage dealer. You really can't afford to lose him. And now we're trapped behind Malik's taunt, so that's unfortunate. All these hits that are going to Malik, you really want those to go toward HK or Darkside Bastilla. You got to get rid of them because HK will start one-shotting your team, and Darkside Bastilla will also, put the hurt on. But I lost Jedi Revan, and now you can see my other two characters besides Yoda are red barred. There goes Jolie. So I know pretty much I'm just trying to do what damage I can, try to make the cleanup a little easier, but I lost that run. It was unfortunate. I really wanted to one-shot him and set a high bar, but it didn't work out for me. And that's just the way counters work sometimes. One little mistake, or you lose a coin flip here or get a dodge there, and that's what happens. Let's go ahead and tackle another team while I regroup my thoughts and figure out what I'm going to do. Go ahead and take JTR with BB-8, Stickray, Finn, and Resistance Trooper against his Grievous team. It's, I'm not too practiced against a Grievous team. Most of the time, you want to throw CLS against it because it's a sure win. But having failed on that Darth Rev encounter in the previous battle, I wanted to save CLS so that way I could use it for a pretty sure cleanup on that team. So I had to use my resistance somewhere. So I went ahead and took JTR in here. And she can do a good job with the locked healing immunity that she can put down. It's pretty helpful. And being able to call the assist with BB-8 and then that roll with the punches Zeta where he'll turn around and cause somebody else to attack also. That's pretty good, but Grievous does hit hard if they have a modded right for max health. You can see I lost Finn earlier there. You just got to watch it. And you can't get to Grievous all the time because he forces that mark on the other droids. So you got to be careful of that. And there he goes again. You see how he knocked out Resistance Trooper. And so now it's just my 3 to his 1. But he really hits hard. It costs in efficiency banners is what it is. I didn't think I would lose, but only 51 banners for that round. So it is a little bit of a struggle there. We'll keep going, moving on. So what I decided to do, thanks in small part to my buddy Klesso, I've seen him work with his Ewoks and take out bounty hunters and first order and whatnot. I normally throw these little furballs on defense, but I didn't want to give my guildmate, my opponent, any teams that he could use his imp troopers on. I wanted him to have to come up with 7 other teams and leave those on the bench. If you can take one sure squad out of their roster that they had planned on use for offense, then, you're putting them in a tough spot. So I didn't want to put these on defense because he would have just used his imp troopers and gotten max banners on them. So I decided, since his first order was a bit weak, that my junky Ewoks could handle them. So, and I'm no pro at this, but all I'm doing is trying to just kill one off and get the numbers advantage. Stuck behind taunt on Stormtrooper right there, so, and now he's red barred, so work on him, get rid of him. The next squishiest one is First Order Officer, so I'm trying to get some work in on him, but you also want to keep an eye on the turn meter for Executioner, because Executioner can do big damage and also clear buffs off. So once he gets sufficiently powered up, you got to watch out because he can turn around and just kill your Ewok. And if you lose Elder, you're going to have a tough time. So working on First Order Officer, got him red barred. You can see I still got to read the moves and see what they do. I'm just no pro when it comes to these Ewoks, you know. Call a dog pile on crew just because that's the only move I had, but I was able to knock out officer right there. Now I'm going to try and get executioner out. Like I said, he's the primary damage dealer. Once you can get him out and it comes down to the 2 Kylos, then you're kind of sitting good. And then once you get rid of crew and it's just Xylo, then it's pretty much game over. As long as your guys are decently healthy and everything, they can take him out. So we're going to work on crew. Sometimes it takes a minute because he'll heal whenever he gets the status effects. So you got to watch out for that. But I do have him red barred. So we'll just keep working on him. There he goes. And now it's just a matter of taking out old Kylo. And you can see I just threw it on auto to let the AI go through and do it. Because even though I still got, almost 2 minutes on the clock, they hit pretty weak. So it does take time to cut through all his protection and everything. So I'll let the AI just handle that and do what it needs to do. It's going to know what moves to use much faster than I do. So there's that. Was able to take out his first order for 53 banners. Now we'll jump into his Night Sisters. He's got Night Sisters and he did Dooku lead, but that shouldn't matter for a Padme team. That's why I like to keep Padme for offense. I know some people set it on defense, but once you keep it for offense, it's a pretty surefire counter against Night Sisters. So long as you can keep that protection up on there, you don't have to worry about getting debuffed. And you can see, even though I got debuffed for going under 100% health, and I got the healing immunity and buff immunity, you can just cleanse that with GK's move or Padme's special move. There's options. And even Xeris will take away some debuffs here and there. So with this Galactic Republic team, they do have some good synergy and they got moves that complement each other. You can see it's only been a minute off the clock and I'm down to just Zombie and Mother Talzin. And that's only 1 minute gone by. So I'm working on Mother Talzin. There she goes. Now it's just Zombie. And everybody's doing good with full protection and everything. So I was able to pick up 58 banners right there. That's good enough for me. Okay, let's take stock of where we're at. He's got his own Padme team. He's got a Tusken-led Scoundrel team. I had to look at the lead on that, and it does give plus 55 defense to everybody, I think. Or plus 55 defense to Tuskens. I don't know. It gives defense. Had never fought Tuskens, but wasn't really worried about this team. And then I got to clean up my mess with Darth Revan. So let's get into these last battles and show you guys how things went down. First off is the Padme team. I like to go against that with Traya. And it's just Traya lead, Scion, Darth Nihilus, and then Sith Marauder and Sith Assassin. Both of those are pretty good if you're not using them in your Darth Revan team. I like to throw them under Traya when I can, just because Sith Marauder gains turn meter and will hit pretty hard, and also gives the potency up, which I like. And then Assassin being able to speed everybody up and have that lightning that she throws that will hit under protection is nice. So they do make a pretty good Sith to throw into this team. What I like to do is go after Padme first, threw some isolate on her. You really want to keep her sidelined because her protection up is what drives this team. If you go after this team and you try and take out like Anakin, yes, he can get bonus turns and do heavy damage, but who cares? It's really Padme that's going to screw you over. Her protection up and her being able to clear everybody's debuffs and heal everybody up, that's what's going to screw you over. So you really got to focus on her, keep her sidelined as much as you can, and then you can worry about everybody else. You can see I have her, and I just annihilated her, and now it's just Xeris and C-3PO. And Xeris isn't going to do much. The only time she can hit hard is when she gets a bunch of stacks of courage. And guess what? That ain't going to happen because she can't get protection up on herself. You know, not without Padme there giving protection up to everybody. So we'll just go to work on her. You can see Scion gets a big hit there. Marauder hits. And now we got Treya's big hit. Boom. And nothing left to do. 56 banners on that team. No problem. Now I just got his Tusken Scoundrel team and my cleanup of that Darth Revan team. So let's go ahead and clean up that mess first, and then we'll take out that last team. So I went ahead and used my CLS to go do the cleanup. I got CLS, Chewie Han, and then R2 and Ezra. I threw Ezra in because obviously I can't run a Bastilla team with Ezra in it because I used that for my first try at the Darth Revan counter. So she was busy there. But without Darth Revan as the lead, it's a lot easier to clean up this mess of a team. You can see I got rid of Darkside Bastilla pretty easily. And now we're going to work on HK. Try and get rid of him because he can hit really hard. But like I said, once they're out of the way, then it's just Malik. And the trick to him is if you can keep him stunned, then you can do the heavy damage on him and don't have to worry about him constantly doing that drain life to, you know, kill your people off. So that's all we're doing, trying to hit him with the assist attacks. Keep using R2's stun to try to keep him stunned while I do even more damage to him. And there we go. Knocked him out for 38 banners. So a 2-shot for that one. Gives my opponent a little bit of breathing room, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and take out his last team. And I had an Empire team. EP lead, Vader, Tarkin, Shore, and IPD. I don't really get a chance to use my Empire team, so it was kind of neat to do this. I recently took IPD to Gear 12. Plan on giving him a Zeta soon just to make him even more useful. I think especially in situations like this, having that where they won't be able to gain buffs if they're target locked will be pretty helpful. So we'll see how that goes. Who knows what's around the corner. You can make all the plans you want for Zetas, and then some new character or new squad comes up, and boom, there go your next 5 Zetas, and this gets put on the back burner, huh? So we'll see if that happens, but you can see this team runs off debuffs, and I'm giving them plenty of debuffs. I got my stuns going. I get the debuffs from Tarkin. I got Shore there to help tank out some of the hits and heal everybody up. So, not struggling here at all. You know, you got to deal with Chewie's prepared, but that only brings back the light side scoundrels, so I don't have to worry about the Tuskens. Get them out of there, and that's just 2 less things I got to deal with. I got L3 in the red, but she's going to be brought back as soon as she dies because of Chewie's prepared, and he's got the Zeta, so it's going to bring her back. There she goes. And now he's not prepared anymore, so try and kill her off real quick. You can also try and kill him off, you know, and then he can't bring anybody back if he's dead. But she's already in the yellow, so I'm really trying to get her down and kill her off before he gets his buff. Throw some target lock on there. Now Vader's AoE and a culling blade will get the job done. Now we'll try and take out Vandor, and while we're doing that, try to heal up if we can. It's hard without having Thrawn to, you know, give some extra protection back. There's really no way you're going to regain that. The best you can do is try and get everyone full health, which I was able to do, top up with Shore there and get full health. So, hey, I'll take the win. It wasn't pretty, but everybody survived, so good enough for that. I'm going to just show you what I scored with the ships. He just put down a Thrawn fleet. I did the same. Thrawn with some First Order ships and Empire ships. I mean, it's pretty boring. Everyone knows you just use your Millennium Falcon and take that out. If you don't have Millennium Falcon, I mean, you really should by now. If you're in my bracket, which is like 4.4 mil, you better have it by now. And you'll do yourself a big favor if you keep it for offense. You could try to get cute and throw it on defense, and your opponent may struggle, or they may go ahead and clear it. And then you got to turn around and fight what they got without your almost auto-win fleet. So who wants to do that? End up losing their Grand Arena. You know, go ahead and keep Millennium Falcon for offense. Make things easy on yourself. Set some junky fleet down on defense, and the best you can hope for is maybe it'll take off a banner or two here or there and you can get an edge. Let me go ahead, and now that we're done with this ships business, I'm sure you guys want to see, I've had some comments asking, you know, what I put for defenses. I'm going to show you this map. I got 1650, and he's the opposite time zone of me. He's in New Zealand. So he was going to do his attacks overnight, you know, while I was asleep. And I figured I'd wake up to a clear board and see how efficient he was able to go. Well, when I woke up this morning, this is what the map looked like. My opponent got 1263. He was able to one-shot almost everything. He struggled on one team that I set down with some scoundrels, and then he didn't even try Darth Revan because he ended up having to use his Darth Revan counter team, which was Jedi Revan, to clean up a mess that he had left with my scoundrels. So that's the board, and you know, that's the win. So we'll see you guys in the next round as far as that goes. But before we leave, I promised you I would go ahead and show you my defense. People have been curious about that. And since I was fighting a guildmate who's seen a lot of my videos, I wanted to craft some special defenses for him that would give him a bit of a struggle. And so this might be useful to you. I set Darth Revan down. You can see I did bounty hunters because I looked at his Stark, and his Stark would have outsped my Bosk if I used Bosk lead, but it wouldn't outspeed if I did Jango with the 30 speed boost. And then I also threw Nest in there on the end, because once you throw Nest in there, that's really going to stop Imperial troopers if they can't get a kill fast enough and go first. Then Nest is going to daze them, and that run's just going to become a loss. So that will really Imperial trooper proof that squad if you can get them to go faster than Stark and have somebody like Nest that's difficult to take out, and it's going to put daze in there. And then I used a Dengar lead with Vandor Chewie, Cad Bane, L3, and Stormtrooper Han. The Dengar lead is pretty nasty. Gives all enemies negative 50% crit damage. So he's going to really struggle with that. Makes him hard to kill. I got a Mother Talzin-led Night Sister team with Spirit. And then a Karth team, but I put Wampa in there instead of Juhani, because Wampa's going to feed off the dots and, you know, hit really hard and power up. So it's not some character that he's going to be able to just ignore and save until the end, you know, without doing something about it. So Wampa makes things a little bit interesting. And then instead of a standard Grievous-led team, I put Dooku in as the lead so we can get some use out of his leadership. I figured even if it doesn't get a hold, it may take off some banners as far as the max health, the max protection banners. I wanted to try to ding him for a few banners here and there, wherever possible. So that was my thinking behind the Dooku lead with the droids. And then at the bottom, you can see there I got basically a Rogue One team, but I took out Cassian and K2 and put in Obi-Wan and C-3PO. And the reason for that is C-3PO is going to give you a bunch of debuffs and call a bunch of assists. Well, under Gen lead, every time your opponent gets debuffed, they got a chance, a 50% chance to get an expose. So I figured they'd be getting a lot of exposes, and then C-3PO also lets rebels get exposes on their basics. So I figured they, there's no strong damage dealer, but at least they would be hitting a lot with the exposes if that'll work. And I got to ask him how that turned out. He was able to one-shot it, but hopefully it took off some protection and health banners. And that's what you want to do. You want to throw your opponent for a loop and make them have to overpower it because they're not sure what they normally would use, like Ewoks or something, to counter your Rogue One. They can't really use in this scenario because of the different characters they're not used to. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Like I said, we will see you guys in the next round. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace.